Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yet though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. How's everyone doing? Hey, Doobie, how's it going? I'm doing beautiful. I'm doing perfect. How are you? How's your day been so far? How did you sleep? How are you feeling? What is your plan for today? How's it been going? Hope everyone's doing fantastic. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone is making good decisions, doing the right things, taking in life, enjoying the time sacredly as it passes. I'm at the hospital right now, visiting my brother, Joseph. Hey, Natasha. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for joining the stream once again. Much love. Thank you for your time. It's been okay. Slept decently. Felt a bit of creative block with my music the past few days. Just trying to get back into the flow state. Yeah, it happens. It's the waves. It's the waves. How do you think, what do you think right now? What do you feel intuitively is the best approach to facing this creative block that you're facing right now these past few days? Do you think it's by forcing yourself to do it? Do you think it's by taking some downtime? Is it something with your mind, something with your physical energy? Where do you think this creative block's coming from? I had a great week making music. I didn't hit my week goal from last stream, but it pushed me to do a lot of work. And I started actually, I got down a new track of a song. See if I can play it for you guys. It's really nice. I really like it. It's come together pretty well. But also kind of hints at what I was saying. One of my obstacles was last week with trying to complete songs. You get distracted with other ones. So, but I would have rather gotten down the tracks that I made this week than not, because I acted on inspiration and it created now one of my favorite songs that I'm working on at the moment. So I love it. I love how it's come together. I still need to, today I'm going to make it, today's technically still not over. So today I'm going to make it my goal to get down the lyrics for my movie song, because those are the still the ones I'm stumped on. So it's a little bit of a creative block there for me, but I'm going to force myself to get a first draft done by the end of today. I think it's a bit of both, needing time to relax, but also needing time to make my creativity too. Yeah. Sometimes you make the best things when you force yourself to just do something. When you don't feel like doing it, but you just force yourself to create. Sometimes the best things come from that. So at some point or another, I found myself, and I know a lot of others can resonate with this too, at some point or another, you just have to create, even in the face of not feeling like you want to, especially if it's weeks or months of not feeling creatively motivated or creative blocks. Like, are you just going to stay there forever? Are you just going to wait for the right time? Because, it's the same thing with getting hard work done. If you just rely on motivate, I hope the wind's not too crazy. It's pretty intense. Hope you guys can hear me okay, or decently. Just let the wind pass. It feels nice though. It feels nice. But if you're doing hard work, if you just rely on motivation to do it, it's not always going to get done. You're not going to be motivated every single day to do the hard things. And that's where discipline comes in. That's where sometimes you just need to put your foot down and have the discipline to just create, even if you feel like creating. I hope you and everyone else are enjoying the day. Thank you. We are enjoying the day very, very sacredly. I've been enjoying the day so far a lot with my family. very grateful, very happy that I woke up today and my family is all with me. The grandparents are coming by later, my sister as well. So it's a very much one of those days. So I'm very happy about that. Um, but also creating. I've been doing some editing for freelancing. I'm going to get those lyrics down. I'm going to write that down actually for myself. And once we get into the workshop for today, we'll check in with our goals and have that conversation about consumption, the conversation about content addiction and screen addiction that we were talking about last week. So get ready to talk about that stuff because we'll want to go dive dive deep with that stuff. Yo, Kurt, how you doing? What's up? How you doing, Kurt? Much love. Thank you for joining the stream. Are you doing well today? JDO, how's everyone doing? Yellow, I don't think I can currently join right now, so hope you write the questions in the community tab thing. Yes. Sure thing, JDO. You're right, sometimes you need to just do it regardless of the motivation or inspiration. Yeah. Yeah. Certainly, sometimes that's what you have to do. Although something that I've meditated on the past week, something that I thought about was I think that productivity for artists, for creatives, at least for me, I see this in myself, and I know this is something that would just fuel a lot of the people that I look up to, a lot of the filmmakers that I look up to, and musical artists that I look up to. The key to unlocking like just like pure productivity as an artist, I think, is not by finding some kind of hack or trick within like a routine or a checklist system. Certain things like that can help for sure, and I've talked about those things before. But I think truly unlocking your full productivity is like the video I made, the romanticize your process video. You need to find a way to find the part of yourself that is absolutely obsessed and just wants to create. Doesn't it doesn't even register the thought of like, oh, I have to sit down and start creating. Like, no, what does the version of yourself look like that's thinking about this dream script or this dream movie, and the creative spirit's just obsessed with just wanting to write the characters and get the ideas down, go through drafts, and like, where is that within you? Where is that archetype, and how do you unlock that? How do you unleash that? Because then you don't have to worry about implementing hacks or routines or systems of productivity. Then it's a different obstacle. Then it's an obstacle of controlling that and actually, making sure that you're spending time with family and eating and drinking and not spending all day working on your craft, which is probably the more preferable problem or obstacle. But yeah, I was thinking about that the other day and just thinking about it more deeply. And I think that's really what it is. And for me, I've been unlocking that more with my music, which I really love. The past week, and this goes into the conversation we'll have later in the stream about the phone addiction, the consumption, whatnot. And this past week has been, I think, my best week with that stuff, just because we talked about it and we became conscious about it. Just really stopping those impulses. I've allowed myself and my soul time to think about, my music and my music career and what I want to do with my musical art. And I've just gotten so excited about that. And it's made me want to go to working on the songs that I'm working on now, because it's not just about these songs that I'm doing, but it's also the future songs that I won't be able to get to unless I do these songs. And so I found a way to fall in love with this process and fall in love with getting songs done, building my body of work, because I'm just thinking about it. I'm daydreaming about this musical career that I'll have and all the music that I'll make. And I just allow that to fuel me and push me towards the work, as opposed to before it would feel more like a chore and be like, oh, I gotta mix these vocals, I gotta do these things. So I think truly, and the same thing goes for the scripts that I'm working on, the script that I'm working on now, the film that I'm working on now. I'm trying to unlock the version, the archetype within me that wants to get the film done, that just like is obsessed and like, oh my gosh, like I want to get it done. I just want to like I don't need motivation to get it done. I just want to do it. Just like I don't need motivation to play video games. I just want to do it. So yeah, that's I think that's truly how to unlock your productivity powerhouse as an artist. So if you are struggling with getting things done and not really feeling like how you do the work, then I think you need to spend time in solitude, and I think you need to reflect with your soul and think about your art and who you are and what you want to create in this life, and get and daydream about that, obsess about that idea, obsess about that vision, and allow that to get you excited about doing the work, as opposed to like, it's got to get done. What do you mean it has to get done? This is your dream. This is what you want to do with your life. Why does it have to feel like a chore? Certainly, things are going to be hard. There are going to be things within the overall journey that you're are going to be struggle, that maybe you're not going to feel motivated, but you have to get done either way and you use discipline to do those things. But the big picture of what you're creating, you want to get up with excitement every day. Quality seems bad. Maybe it's the wind. Yeah, there's a good amount of wind. I do want that push, but if I just force myself into stores without the fun, it's not going to be the best it can be. Yeah. Hope you and your fam as well, with your brother too. Been super busy working, so I haven't managed to reply yet. Oh no, all good, Kurt. I appreciate that. My family as well. Yeah, we're all supporting my brother. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. I'm here at the hospital now. Oh, I hope you're doing well, JDO. I hope you're doing well. Are you? Was it Hurricane Milton? I hope everything is well. I'm wishing the best. And yeah, I get that. I resonate that. That happened to me in the first week with my family incident. So I understand that. This has been the best week too. So excited with what I'm doing at the moment. Pivoted my idea a bit. So super focused. Apart from the times you spam my Insta story. That's funny. Yeah, I saw the stories. That's good. That's good, Kurt. I'm happy to hear that. That's really good. Yeah, I'm feeling great right now. I'm feeling great with my music and feeling great with my mind this past week because of what we talked about last week. Moving forward, I'm glad you made it through that. Didn't realize you lived in America. Yeah, definitely more important things to be focused on in your life. Home is threatened. Yeah. Live stream at the hospital. Yes. We do it. We do it. My brother's in physical therapy actually now. So he's in physical therapy. Yeah, it's 2 o'clock. So he's going to be doing that until. But to the workshop portion, thank you everyone for joining. I really appreciate everyone's presence, everyone's time. And again, like I said, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope your day is going well. I hope you're taking in the time sacredly, making good decisions, consistently going at your work, doing the work that your soul wants to do, doing the work that is is your true spiritual labor, and that will produce the fruits that you will reap. Um, I hope that you are doing that. You're taking consistent action, spending time with yourself, your soul, and addressing any unrest within your soul, because life is too short not to live an incredible, magnificent life and journey. So let's get into the workshop. Um, so there's a couple parts to this workshop. Like I said, I want to have a conversation about what we talked about last week, where we were all going to be conscious about this past week on how we approach the phone and screen addiction and scrolling and content addiction, mindless consumption, all that stuff. I'm excited to talk about that stuff. We're gonna have a nice conversation. I also want to check in with our goals. How are we doing with our projects? Let's talk about it now. Actually, how do we feel like? Okay, so we're 2 weeks into this. How do we feel like we're doing with our goals and our projects, and our goals within our project? And specifically, where do we feel like is maybe a weak point? Where do we feel there's an obstacle? Maybe it's the obstacle that we labeled in week one of this workshop. What is a current problem that we're facing? What is something that is maybe holding us back? How are we holding ourselves back? What is something that we notice is in between us and getting the work done? Is it laziness? Is it fear? Is it not managing your time well enough? What is it? Got a lot in. Don't feel I'm doing my best. Why do you feel like you're not doing your best, JDO? Right? Feel bad almost. He's so sweet. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be on the stream with you guys. I appreciate it. I will say for me, um, just reflecting on my music, since that's the creative project that I have chosen for myself with these weekly workshops. Um, with my music, I have been doing well with acting on inspiration and putting in time, balancing it also with visiting my brother here at the hospital, just getting in the mixing done. I've been doing well um, with mixing the vocals. As I said last week, my week goal was to mix all of the vocals, to get all the vocals done, choose my vocals, and I didn't do all of the mixing. I didn't do the entire mixing, but I did get a decent. I did get a pretty good amount done, so I'm happy about that. For me, one of my weaknesses, I didn't get the lyrics done that I said I wanted to get that first draft of the lyrics done for my other song, my car song. So I kind of fell into that obstacle that I made conscious of, that I made aware of um, that first week when I said, oh, yeah, one of my weaknesses is focusing on one song so that I can get one song done as opposed to spreading myself thin. So I kind of fell into that obstacle this past week. Um, and yeah, it was totally in my control, right? Totally in my power, right? That is up to me. That's an own decision that I make. So what I got to do, I just got to do things differently. I need to prioritize those lyrics so that I can guarantee that progress, because you could see the cycle. If you just do the tracks, if I just were to do tracks and then maybe get to lyrics or something and then start a new song and never return to the other one, then no song would ever get completed. So I definitely need to make sure I confront that cycle. And today I'm going to act on that. I'm going to make that decision to act. I'm going to actually commit to getting the lyrics done so that I can guarantee that progress, not fall into that cycle of not getting anything done or anything completed or finished. But besides that, like I said, I had a new song that I wrote and I started tracks for and I really loved. And I'm not, I'm happy with that. I'm proud of that decision to act on that inspiration, because I know when the creative spirit gives you inspiration, you need to act on that. And if it feels right, you need to act on it, despite any rules. So I acted on that, and I have one of my favorite songs now that I'm working on. Doesn't really have a tentative title, um, but yeah, I really love it. And right now, I'm going to, in order to drive my discipline and work to actually work on the lyrics for the other song, I'm going to give myself this rule of, okay, I'm not allowed to work on this one song, the one that I started this week, until I do the lyrics for the other. So I'm going to do that. Couldn't tell you why. Maybe it's just the obstacles feel so challenging. Which obstacles feel challenging? And maybe you can't tell me why, but have faith that you have the answers within, that you know deep down why and what it is. And also know that you have the power to overcome these challenges. Watch out for the mind, because the mind is very powerful. Remember, the mind it will set rules, it will set programs, and it will follow those things. It will live your life according to those things. So make sure that your mind, notice how your mind is relating to these obstacles. Do you notice your mind kind of holding you back and making you feel less powerful because of these obstacles? Make sure that your mind is doing the opposite, that it's actually empowering you. And again, seeing these obstacles as opportunities, like we talked about. As mentioned, I had a massive pivot, but currently flying through the things I need to get done. Had a big confidence boost recently, gotten slightly better at shutting down negative thoughts, etc. Good. Very nice. I'm happy to hear that. Very, very happy to hear that. I'm not consistently working on my story. I can sort of have fear that I'm straying from the direction I want to go, and what I'm writing can sort of not feel right. Straying from the direction that you want to go. What do you mean straying from the direction that you want to go? Do you mean that you feel like you need to go a certain direction in the story, but you have fear of it? Does that direction that you want to go, that feel like the best option? Because if so, then you know that you have to go in that way. You have to go in that direction, despite the fear. You know that to be true, right? And also, JDO, when you say what you're writing doesn't feel right, does it not feel right in terms of it doesn't feel like the type of art that you genuinely want to make, or is it hard, but you know that it's good to be writing, despite, like, it's good to force yourself to write, because eventually that's when you get to the good stuff. Car song, yeah, car song. Tentative title. Or movie, now it's called movie. Whatever. Titles schmitles. You'll see the title once it's released. A certain direction in the story. Feels like a specific and cool direction. So why do you not want to go that way? What do you think's holding you back from going that direction? Because this will come up. This is not going to go away. This will come up with this story and the stories that you'll write after in the future. This thing that's holding you back in your mind is not going to go away just because you succumb to it or you ignore it. So what do you think is going on? Maybe writer's block? Could be writer's block. And what is writer's block for you? What does that mean to you? Is it a fear of writing? Is it a fear that it won't be good enough? Is it a lack of ideas? Is it not feeling like you want to write? The direction that you want to take your story, if your writer's block is a lack of ideas in dialogue, yeah, lack of ideas in dialogue, or lack of diversity in narration, yeah. So if there's okay, so this is important, JDO. You feel like your story should go in a certain direction, very specific and cool direction. Intuitively, I'm sensing, and I've talked about this before, that this is an unplanned signal, an unanticipated signal from your soul on where the story is meant to go. But maybe there's a lack of courage to act on that because of, like you're saying, your lack of ideas and dialogue, lack of diversity in narration, story, etc. Know that if this is the case, if you feel like intuitively this is the right direction to bring your story, if you feel that deep down inside, then JDO, I really encourage you to use this as an opportunity. Remember, issues, problems are opportunities. They aren't just bad things. They are actually good things in disguise. They are opportunities to evolve spiritually and artistically. And so right now, JDO, you are facing an incredible moment in your artist's journey with this story. What you are facing right now is an opportunity to evolve. You are facing an opportunity to confront this thing within your mind that's holding you back. Look at this beautiful opportunity that has been given to you on a silver platter. Right now, intuitively, you feel that your story should go in a specific, cool, new direction. But your mind is blocking you with writer's block and lack of ideas. And so I would truly encourage you, JDO, use this as an opportunity to act in the face of fear. Courage is acting in the face of fear. And however you act can look like whatever it's meant to look like to you. But make sure that you are acting in that right direction, despite this fear. And so if this were me, just for example, maybe this inspires you, however, you could spend time in silence, just being quiet, just conceptualizing ideas for this new direction. Write them down in your journal, write them down somewhere in your notepad, list them down, and allow your time, that silence, to let those ideas flow. Because I promise, if this is a signal from your soul on where to bring the story, ideas are going to flow if you allow it to. And your soul's actually using this as an opportunity to evolve artistically. That's why it's sending you this new idea, knowing that the mind's going to stop you. So I would spend time in silence, get ideas, and then even if you're not crazy about the ideas, even if you're not totally obsessed with it, if you receive ideas, when you receive ideas for this new story direction, just act on them. Put them in your story. Put them in your script. You don't know where they're going to go. They come to you for a reason. You don't know where they're going to lead you. You don't have to worry about the outcomes. You just have to act on what feels right at the given moment. The outcomes play themselves out. Remember, guys, your role is not to obsess on the outcomes. Your role is not to obsess on the details. Your role as an artist is to act the best way you can, what feels best at any given moment, and it figures itself out. Remember that. Okay. I would spend time in silence. I would get ideas. I would do some writing activities. I've mentioned certain writing activities you can do if you're facing writer's block, but find some writing activities to face this writer's block. Stream of conscious journaling, stream of conscious writing, the morning pages, writing an alternative version of your scene or your story, or you can just experiment, and that doesn't have to be any rules whatsoever. Maybe incorporate an element from this new story direction that you have, but find ways to act on this, because this is, again, if what you're saying is true, JDO, that you intuitively feel your story should go in a new specific direction, then this is the time to act. These are the times that we need to act. These are the times in the artist's journey where we need to act despite fear. This is where we need to implement courage. And even if you don't do this now, it won't go away. It'll come up later in your story, and it'll go up, and it'll come up later for another story down the line, a different story that you're working on. So if not now, then when? So I would encourage you to act on this, and I would encourage you to act on this new story direction that and only if it feels right. Again, only if what you're saying, if it feels right deep down, if you know your story should go in this new direction. And I mentioned this in my recent YouTube video. New YouTube video is coming out either today or tomorrow, probably tomorrow. I had to get back and film the rest of the B-roll. I mentioned this in my recent YouTube video. A writer writes and something brilliant happens. I mentioned that video. In order to cultivate your brilliant writing, in order to cultivate your inner genius as it writes for you, you need to be open and alert for when intuitive things come up that are unanticipated, things that you don't expect. When you're writing a story, assuming a few things, and then all of a sudden you get inspiration, you get a very clear, vivid download or vivid idea of a new direction your story should go. I literally talked about this in my recent video. You need to be open to that. You need to be alert about that, and you need to act on it. Because sometimes the most brilliant parts of the stories that we write aren't revealed until we've taken 5 steps into the story writing process. That's also why it's important to not wait until everything's perfect to start writing. So when it comes up, don't ignore it. Cracking out the intuition. You know it. You know I love my intuition and downloads. You know, Kurt, you know how it works. You got to write it down. You got to write the stuff down. You got to know the validity of the things that you receive, and you need to know how relevant they are to your life. Deadline got moved up on a project I'm working on. Would have taken me days, only took hours to complete. I was like, woo, I can do this quicker. Nice. Good. Happy to hear that. Yeah, if you give to that idea, if you give yourself a week to clean your room, you'll get it done in a week. If you give yourself an hour to clean your room, you'll get it done in an hour. You can do things a lot quicker than you think. Conceptualizing. Oh yeah. That's what we're doing out here. It's a lot of conceptualizing. Like Bashar's explanation of the higher self for this line of Convo, he's explained it the best I've seen. Oh, what is that? Opportunity for sure. Probably going to spend some time in silence, thinking more in depth with these ideas. Make a mood board. Nice. Make a mood board. Yes. Oh, I love that you mentioned mood board. That's another thing that yes, I love making mood boards. I make mood boards all the time. Images. Yeah. Cool. JDO. That's brilliant. Make a mood board. This new story direction that you have. Make a mood board with like images and visuals that emit this story direction combined with the story that you're already writing. What does this look like? How does this feel? Yeah. Make a mood board. Play some music that feels like this new direction, that feels like your story, and just write down ideas. Let the ideas come. Spend time in silence as well. Silence just breeds. For me, silence always brings the best ideas. Write multiple experimental POVs before picking that one that works. Yes, nice. I love it. My bad for not typing much. You're good. Just processing your words. You're good, JDO. But I would, again, the only thing I've just given recommendations and ideas that maybe inspire something, but whatever it looks like for you, really encourage you right now. And this is what these workshops are all about. And this is what community is all about. And this is what the artist's journey is all about. It's when an opportunity like this arises, do the right thing, like act on it. Really act on it. If the direction feels right, if the idea feels right, act on it. Take courage, for I've overcome the world. Enter in a state of fun is the fastest way I found to move into receiving state. Yeah. Yep. I can relate hardcore with that one. When I've worked on my films and I've just like had fun thinking of ideas and I've had fun just obsessing and fantasizing about the script and story, that's when I am in that state of receiving a lot of ideas. Just, yeah. Just, it can just go wherever you want. And your spirit just becomes open because you're communicating with your spirit. Yeah. I love that. Thank you for JD. I really appreciate you bringing that up. I really appreciate. Hey, Bo, how you doing? Hello. Thank you for joining the stream. I'm happy that you made it. Yeah, just in time. Always in time. Always on the right timing. I appreciate you, JD, bringing that up. I appreciate because I'm sure there's other people, and I resonate with what you're saying too. Um, I'm sure other people can resonate as well. When things like these come up, these are the opportunities to act. And JD, I hope, and if you do decide to act on this idea, this inspired action, take this inspired action, and let us know how it goes. Let's check in next week if you decide to do so, or if something else comes up. You have to do what feels best, though. And remember, guys, it's consistent action every day. That's just the truth. That's just the reality of it. It's something that we can all work on. But nothing's gonna get done if we don't act. If we don't take actual steps, actionable steps towards our projects. Spotty internet, but rode out the hurricane well. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I hope everyone, if anyone was affected by the hurricane, that they're doing well. I think it wasn't as bad as it was anticipated to be, but it still left a lot of destruction. So I hope that everyone's doing well. I hope that whoever was in the area is safe and that they're well with their family and loved ones. Um, send in prayers down there. My family had a house down there, not anymore, but we know some people. That's how it is out here. But we know some people down Florida in the area. They're okay. Remain open and allow. Yes, yes. You have to find time to enter a state of openness and receiving. Hey, Sergio. As soon as I see a video notification from you, I get inspired to start going. Oh, that's blessed. Very blessed. I'm happy that you expressed that. Thank you, Sergio. That makes me very happy. That makes my heart happy. I appreciate your support, and I'm happy that the content resonates. I'm happy that it helps you. Appreciate you. I hope that the future content resonates as well, and I wish you the best with your work. Thank you for joining the stream. Just having some fun with a drum break and some samples from an old song now. Thanks for being an inspiration and getting me back into the groove of life. Oh, beautiful. That makes me very happy to read. Thank you for mentioning that, Doobie. I love it. I love it. It's we're all here creating. We're all here. We all have our dreams. We all have our creative pursuits that we want to do, and we need to cultivate this. We need to cultivate this creative energy, this desire to create, this desire to be creative. I really love it. It's a very beautiful thing. We're all here to support each other, and I'm finding it every day. And I think that the more we work with this, the more the days and the weeks and the months that we spend on this, the years that we spend on this craft and working with our creative spirit, we learn things. That's how we gain our we develop a certain type of wisdom. Um, I think eternal wisdom is kind of always within, even from the beginning. I truly do believe. I don't believe you need a certain amount of experience to have access to wisdom within. I think it's always there. But we develop a new type of wisdom when we actually experience things of our own, which I think is beautiful and necessary. So let's continue to create and learn and pass this on to other people. And we have to be fountains for the things that we experience and learn. And that's ultimately how a better world is created. So I love that you're inspired. I love that you're creating and having fun. That is the key. You got to have fun. Your fun is an indicator that you create spirits at work. I hope the wind's not too crazy. But I'd rather be outside than in, if I'm going to be totally honest. Ooh, it's intense. I'm curious, can you guys hear me as the wind is like super intense? Are you guys able to hear me like decent, like well enough? Just so I know if I should maybe stop talking when it's super windy and then just wait for it to pass. Oh, Kurt, I didn't know you were in the UK. Oh, interesting. How's it over there? Okay, here. Okay, good. Um, Before we move on to the content and phone stuff, anyone else want to mention anything? Any questions about any questions at all about how we're doing with our work and our goals that we're setting, and maybe where we can do better? Maybe any way or conversation that would support someone. What are the obstacles that you're facing with your creative goals? Like JDO, I appreciate JDO you opening up and talking about it. That was great. For me again, like I have my own obstacle of discipline on one song and then not spreading myself thin, but I'm gonna force myself to get these lyrics done today because I really just wanna progress in that song and then continue mixing. The mixing I'm doing well with. Again, I didn't reach that goal, but it pushed me to just to work on mixing and work on vocals and whatnot. So I'm happy with that progress that's going on. Okay, good. Happy to say we got 80% of my TB. Let's go. Oh, that is beautiful. Thank you for mentioning that, Poe. I'm very happy to hear that. How did you feel with whittling down the cell time? As we'll get into that. I felt great this past week. I felt amazing. That's awesome. It's good. That's good. That's really good. Getting these goals done, getting striving for these goals, getting the work done. Nothing gets accomplished without putting in work and time. So I'm happy that we're pushing each other to do it. Vocals are only slim in the blur. Slim in the blur. It's funny. Sometimes when I'm making vocals, I do overthink, and that's common with a lot of, in the artistic process. You overthink about things that aren't even going to be heard or recognized by the person listening or experiencing. So you don't have to be so worried about little things that maybe stick out weird to you. But love the outside time. Sound is good. Okay, great. Yeah, no, for me, being outside changes the stream entirely for me. I mean, it all has to do with environment and senses. So yeah, I don't feel generally. I just don't feel right being in a crammed room just on a laptop and with all of you guys. Sometimes it's fine. I mean, we did it a couple weeks ago, but I love this outside shift. Remember, guys, just because you're working on your laptop doesn't mean that you have to be inside. Try doing your laptop outside. I got that idea from someone on a stream couple months ago, and it's really changed a lot of things for me. So I love it. So many saying ideas and areas in my story. A little nervous on how I'm gonna connect them all with the plot, but courage, JDO. Yes, yeah. The connections figure themselves out as long as you act with courage and inspiration. You act on the inspiration. The connections and details figure themselves out because it's the way I visualize it. At least is that I truly believe like whatever I work on, whether it's a film or a song, the piece is already done. The same way that Michelangelo made Statue of David, he didn't create the Statue of David. He took away everything that wasn't the Statue of David. So he hit the marble and he took away all the pieces and all of the parts of the marble that weren't David. And that's all he did. The David was already there. He was just cultivating its growth. And that's how I see myself making the art. Is the thing is already I don't need to make every single piece of genius writing and connection that's within the piece. My inner genius, my inner creative spirits is so much more evolved and advanced than my logical mind that all I got to do is just do what feels right, connect with my spirit, do what feels right, and then it figures itself out. And like that's why JDO, if this story direction for you feels right, then you do that. That's if it feels right, if it's in your intuition, it's your creative spirit calling you to take it in this direction. And I believe in you. Hey girl, how you doing? I'm back. I'm a back. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the stream. Felt like I had control, which is awesome. It kept saying slow is smooth and smooth is fast. In difficult times. That's nice. I like that. And pivot in complete opposite of where you find yourself stuck. That's beautiful, Poe. Wow. We're out now burning tree limbs. Whoa, nice. Beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I haven't had a bonfire, kind of campfire in a while. That sounds very relaxing. Yes, I love that. Slow, smooth is fast. That's beautiful. Yeah. I was actually I was thinking about this. I might do a video on this. Um because I noticed yesterday my mom was recalling some stories and I made connections. My mom was telling me, "Oh, my friend um a couple weeks ago, she was rushing out of the house and she got in a car fast and she was rushing for work or something, and then she left, and then she hit her neighbor's dog, um, and the dog was injured. I don't know if the dog. I think the dog didn't die, but it was injured. Um, and I was like, wow, okay, yeah, Russian, destruction. And then my mom told me another story about some guy that she was talking to a week or two ago, at like the car shop or something, who recalled a story from like years back where he witnessed. It was like a very tragic thing, but it was. I won't go into the details, but it had to do with another case of someone rushing out of the house and hitting someone. Um, and I was just thinking, like, wow, like it's crazy, this concept of rushing. When we rush, we're trying to fix something, or we're trying to make up for something, or we're trying to get something done fast. We're trying to improve a situation by rushing. But rushing never helps. Like, it never helps if you think back, because rushing is trying to do something. It's like you're trying to do multiple things at once, um, and you're often doing a sloppy job during the process. And not rushing doesn't mean that you have to be slow necessarily, but taking your time and focusing and actually focus. When you're rushing, you're not focusing. And if anything, you're focusing on the next step after. You're not focusing on the thing at hand. You're focusing on the thing that you have to do right after. And then once you get to that thing, then you're focusing on the things that you have to do after that. And that's what rushing is. But you shouldn't rush, even if you feel like you're behind or you're not ready. You shouldn't. You shouldn't rush in life. In anything, in the micro and in the macro, you shouldn't rush. That's never going to help. Instead, I love that saying: the slow is smooth and smooth is fast. When you take your time and you be focused and you do things in the right manner, then it goes smoothly. And actually, that will be faster than your attempt to rush things. And yeah, I think as long as you consistent action every day, you're making the right decisions. You're doing things that are healthy for you, your body and your spirit. You know, you're doing the work. You're putting in the work. You don't need to rush. There is no rush. You don't have to. That's why it's not about the outcomes. It's not about the timeline. It's not about those things. They figure themselves out. If you do what is best, if you do what feels best at the given moment, and there you go. Hello, hey, my brother Joey, my brother Joseph is in the stream. So if you guys can say hello to Joey, I know that would mean a lot. He's Joey, LOL. Joey, how you doing? Are you done with physical therapy? Did you finish? Wow, 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 wow. Let me know if you're done, Joey. Join your brothers' live stream, balancing families, friends, goals, dreams, and responsibilities. Oh, that's my mom. Wow, that's so beautiful. Oh, it hasn't even come yet? Oh, interesting. Wow, very interesting. Well, let me know when. Guys, my brother Joey's a warrior. He's freaking strongest guy ever. Joey, very proud of you. Everyone here is very proud of you, Joey. And everyone here has been praying for you and saying the nicest things. I hope you know that. So, yeah. And yeah, Joey, you are you're crazy. You're crazy feller. I'm gonna see you very soon, Joey. I'm literally like probably about 100 feet away. Joey. Oh man. I love how you still have Stony as your profile pic. I love it. So fear, the OF only singular white ever being possible, has to be pushed followed on courage in order for color to blur its splat. Saying the allowance of it all connect together so geniusly. I love JDO. You talk so poetically. I love it. It's like the prism, the white light that goes into the 7 colors. Yeah, that's like a beautiful visualization of fear and courage, and that's what it is. And fear is a good thing. Fear is because it forces us to grow. It's fun waiting. Mixing my dictation. Oh, I don't know if it makes sense. No, I love it. Agree with you. Time, spirit has sent me genius connection. The ideas that conscious Earth me never could have made. I tried to write the story from Earth me, with consistently mind blown. Yeah, that's why it's like the mind. The power of the mind is its ability to connect to the soul. That's how I kind of see it. And yeah, you just have to trust. You have to trust the signals that feel right. Can't rush good art. Yeah, and you shouldn't. You don't have to. My PT hasn't even got Joey. Joey, let me know when it starts. That's interesting. That's weird. You always manage to remind me of what I know, but I've forgotten, especially with Russian. Instead, focus on the moment right here, right now. I think a lot of us do something to say we've done it rather than we are in the midst of doing it. Yeah, it's so true. You have to take your time with things. You have to take your time and focus. Like all we have is right now. That's why, like, when whether it's for me starting the day, that's why I pray at the beginning of the day, or even before I start this live stream. It's just like recognize that all we have is right now. That's all we're ever gonna have. In the future doesn't exist because the future will become the right now. It will become the now when it comes. And so that's why it's like the Lord of the Rings. I haven't seen the movie, but there's a saying in the movie. It's all we have to decide, something along the lines of all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. All we have to do is to decide what to do with the time that is given to us. All we have to do is right now is to decide what we're going to do right now, ultimately. And even if we plan our future, that is also deciding what to do right now. Right now, we're going to plan. We're going to plan something. That's all. That's all we can do. My hair is crazy. I got to get a haircut soon. And yeah, and again, like when you do that, then things get done. Then you can actually get work done. There was we talked about this a few streams ago about breaking bad habits. How can we best break bad habits? When we have a bad habit, something that we're doing that we know we shouldn't be doing, we need to stop it. But it's so hard to stop. And one of the issues is we are always thinking about the future when we try to stop, because when you try to stop doing the bad habit, you're not just thinking about stopping or avoiding or putting down the temptation right now. You're thinking about all of the future times that you're going to have to do the same thing. Oh, it's not just about putting down this cookie. It's about putting down every cookie that is to come in the future. But that's not the case, because all you have to do is put the cookie down right now. And then eventually, once those other cookies in the future come, those will also become cookies in the now, in the right now. And so all you have to do is decide right now. You don't have to think about the things in the future. When you think about it, then yeah, it's like putting down all the cookies. But you just focus on right now. You stop right now, and that's it. That's it. Like end of story. And then Once it comes up again, you just focus right now. That's it. It's not about this and the rest of it's right now. It's just right now. It's just if you think about everything else, that's why you need. That's why simplifying the process is important for workflow. Not thinking about the whole picture. It's just focusing on the thing that you have to do right now. When you focus on the thing that you have to do right now, then the things that you're meant to do later will come in their own timing. But you focus on each step, one step at a time, and you will do the best work, and you will put in the most heart and soul into that one step that you're supposed to focus on just right now. Rushing a project you don't want to take part in will forever not land as a genuine touch and art piece. Yeah, I think, and even if it does result in a piece that resonates and touches others, I don't know if the process is worth the outcome, because then and it's not the same thing as like challenge, because challenge and struggle is all a part of the journey. But yeah, rushing a piece or doing something in bad spirit or doing something that in a way that you're not genuinely proud of or not present during the experience, even if it yields something that it can be special or can touch others, is it worth is it worth the product? um it's just, yeah, it's I think the more conscious you make the process, the better you align it with what is right and what feels best, the better work that you will create. Joey, if you're still in the stream, I hope physical therapy goes well. I'll see you very soon. Try and kick some soccer balls, shoot some buckets, dunk on Andrew. With the smooth slow in a project you savor the most, and it even touches with the creator so much, will forever be seen as a landing, genuine touch and piece. Yeah. Yeah. That's the other thing. A project, something that I do with projects is there's a new life and a new energy that kind of fuels the work when I remember that this project's not going to be here forever. The piece will, but like, for example, when I was in film school, when I finish a film, I'm always reminded that once the film is done, it's like the film itself, for me at least, as the maker, as the creator, as one of the artists, who worked on the piece, the film itself is like a memory of the actual work. And the actual work was in the moment, creating it with the people and loving the journey and working with people you love. That was the work. And now this film that you have after it's just a documentary, unintentional documentary of the actual experience and work. So yeah, just remember, like, you're not gonna be working on this thing forever, unless you're in Schenectady, New York, Charlie Kaufman, if anyone's watched that film. But unless you're in that movie, you're not gonna be working on this piece together forever. So savor it while it's here. Yeah, imagine yourself in the future, like teleporting back. You get to relive the experience of making this again, and often that the kind of energy that brings in, it's like, well, you actually think more creatively, and you're like, you start just having fun brainstorming. It's a fascinating thing. Thank you, girl. I appreciate it. I'm doing great. I hope you're doing well. Right now, for me, my main focus is my work is like my music and my freelancing, content and whatnot, the usual. Just spending a lot of time with family. I'm spending a lot of time just enjoying each day as a blessing and enjoying day and waking up and finding my love with life itself, my love of God, and making sure to follow God with everything that I do, and fall asleep with peace in my heart and with forgiveness in my heart, and just spending really good time with family. This week we removed the word trying, so there was no excuse. Either you do or you don't. It helped me to get through blocks. Also align only with projects I'm passionate about. Oh, that's great. I love that. I love that framework. Pivot to your passions. Eventually you will be where you wouldn't have thought you'd be. Working collaboratively, though we all learn. Working collaboratively, though we all learn something. That's beautiful. I love that, Poe. That's really, really nice. Very direct and action heavy mind frame kind of cuts out the hesitancy aspect. Yep. And it's true. Yeah. Either you do or you don't. Yeah, you need that. You need that framework if that's what feels best, because it's like I said, it's us as artists. We can have our heads in the clouds, but our feet have to be on the ground if we want to actually get work done. So yeah, it's opposite of me normally, Kurt. Final product is a memory of the fun you had making it, the fun of the process. So the true magic was really in the moment. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Well said. Yep, same here. I was selling something out of fear for a year. Yeah. No, that's what we got to face together, right? All right, guys. So I want to ask, how did we do with the phone? How did we do with consumption? How did we do with the impulses? How did we do with the impulses? Put down the impulses. How did we do with, you know, controlling ourselves? I would say for me, I felt great this past week. It was incredible. Um, man, it's fascinating. It was very, it felt really, just felt so good to be able to control my impulses and to stop. If I notice myself opening Instagram and actually didn't have an intention, and I'm trying to think. I think I scrolled maybe once or twice this whole week, and it wasn't even like it was like maybe like I don't know, maybe 5 to 10 reels like, for those 1 or 2 times that I scrolled, and yeah, it just felt great. It just felt incredible. I think it was that I it's like the idea when something is painful enough, then it forces you to change. I think that's what it was. Um, and yeah, it's like the fog and the noise that's created in your head when you scroll and when you're mindlessly consuming. It's just not. It's it's better to. It feels better to just finally let that go, even if you let it go with like struggle. If that's what's best, which often is, then that's what you have to do. And it's easy for me to say those things. I think the question is like how do you just stop yourself? Um, and for me at least, I one of the powerful frameworks that I have or I notice in the moment that's active, and I think it's important for everyone to kind of acknowledge, is even if you consume the content mindlessly, even if you scroll in the moment, tell yourself, and this is what I tell myself, this framework of I am deciding to do this. This is my decision. I am deciding to scroll. I'm deciding to watch this video. And again, consuming content is not inherently a bad thing. I mean, I make content. I'm a content creator. The issue is when it's mindless and when it's impulsive, and you shouldn't be spending hours doing this thing. And we've already talked about why it's specifically harmful for artists and our creative energy, and how it depletes creative energy, and it puts this mind in this relationship of always seeking and not coming back within to access information and wisdom within, instead of always trying to seek it from out other sources, videos, and stuff like that. That's why, for me at least, like the content that I make, I always try to hammer down this idea that it's within you. My videos are a mirror for you, but the answers are within you. Like, you have to connect to yourself and your own spirit, your own soul. Because in the world of content consumption, it's so easy to be warped in that mindset of like, oh, the answers are out there. I need to seek them out there. They're all out there. No, 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 no. It's all comes back here. And that's why it's specifically harmful for artists. So yeah, and I felt great this past week. Just like my mind I just felt like there was a lot more. I don't know if integrity is the right word. Not integrity. It's just genuine. Like, I was proud, and I felt like my soul was just felt good and at peace with my current with that habit. So it's just great, and I'm riding this momentum too, as well, which is great. Church bells are going on. But how did everyone do? How were you conscious about it? How did you feel? How did you feel with content consumption with the phone? How did you feel this week? And I think I did well. I think I dealt with it much better last week than this week. Why do you think that was, JDO? There were some times where I forgot I was stuck in a scrolling loop, but every time I did this, I'd stop and block the app. Some days I also went straight to work after waking up without going to Instagram. Good, yeah. That gets a lot of people. That can be a common problem, is going right to the phone, right to content after waking up. And that's like one of the worst things you could do. You want to avoid high dopamine activities in the beginning of the day, because once you engage in a high dopamine activity like scrolling, you set the bar and the standard for the rest of your day. And often that takes away the dopamine and excitement and the rewarding kind of mechanism from doing work, from working on your project. And so if you scroll, or if you consume, and then you go to your work isn't as rewarding. It's not as fun. So yeah, definitely avoid that stuff at the beginning of the day. That's good. I'm gonna get into a really cozy morning routine without social media. It felt amazing that day. Had so much energy. Yeah, and also it's just important in the morning, like just setting that with your mind straight. Of like, I don't need to go on this thing. I don't need to be here right now. I don't need to. We don't need to check these notifications. That's why for me, I I I try to make it, and I do this most days. Um, yeah, like I would say like 80% of the days, I don't check my emails or any social media notifications until the afternoon, until like 12, until like noon. Um, or if I've started to work early, then maybe later after work. But you know, for me at least, the way I look at it is if I do that straight in the morning, especially like before like praying or doing anything spiritual, or spending time in silence. If I do that, then it's like I'm putting that before God. I'm putting that before my spiritual life. I'm putting that before my own myself, which for me is just like I does not feel right at all in my heart. Um, so yeah, it's like that stuff is not as important as the mind makes it out to be. So that's good. Yeah, like don't set that as your a staple in the morning. At the start, I was up jamming, doing a maze, and soon in the middle, I felt long-term fear and didn't act encourage. Long-term fear, yeah. If it's everything's rooted in some degree, some type of trauma, right? So any long-term fear, I mean, that's going to be ultimately something within, right? That you have to kind of explore for yourself. And yeah, it's again, it's all about the mindset, right? Opportunity framework. That this is something that you're meant to overcome, and this is also something that you know how to overcome. And the proof is in the pudding. If you decide to act with fear as opposed to against fear, then it's only proof that you can do the opposite, because you've decided to. If someone decides to not act in courage, then it's only proof that they can also act in courage, because they have made a decision. It's proof that you have options, which is a good thing, because then it shows, okay, I can decide differently. Find myself doom scrolling at the beginning of the week. Family has had fun calling each other out. We're having more true talks because of it. Good. That's awesome to hear. That's really good. That's just like, again, like I said last week, you mentioned it. It's just so great to hear about that open conversation about that with family. I think that's super important. And yeah, it's good to become conscious about that. And I think it really just has a huge impact on your day-to-day life, right? And what your bars are, what your standards are, what your how you're relating to those around you, your activities that you engage in. It's all connected to that. Like, frick, like, of course it is. Like, of course it is. It's something that I would say it shouldn't be a taboo thing, because the phone literally the most common activity we share, which is kind of sad, but it's true. It's like the most common activity that we all share. It's the one thing that we all revert to in downtime and silence. And again, this is why it's particularly important for us artists, with silence, and creativity, and senses all being important things, and how doom scrolling can just kill those things. But yeah, it shouldn't be a taboo thing. Like, literally the most common thing that we all have at our hands. So we should be talking about it. relate on the doom scrolling. We all do it. Yeah. That's why we have to be conscious about it. That's why we have to stop it, and that's why we have to control it. Because the mindless activities, it slowly eats away. We don't even realize it. I love the mornings with no cell. Yep. Every time after scrolling for hours, I just feel exhausted, even if I enjoyed it at the time. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, that's the thing. Like, even after you're doom scrolling, like, you enjoy it in the moment, and you even can, afterwards, yeah, even if you feel exhausted, like, oh, on to the next thing, but you don't realize what it's doing to you. You don't realize the long-term effects. You don't realize the time that it's consuming, the hours that it's consuming, the time that you could be put, you could put that towards the things that you could be putting that time towards, as opposed to scrolling. And just, again, it's the subconscious programmings that all the content that you're consuming is having on your mind. It literally is like a virus. It's like a parasite. Just because a poisonous strawberry tastes good doesn't mean that it's not poisonous. So and obviously, I mean, that's the whole point of scrolling, right? That's the whole point of why we scroll, is because it's fun in the moment. But if we don't actually take the time to reflect on, okay, how is this thing operating in my life, and do I truly care about the things that I'm consuming, the things that I'm putting into my life? Now, is this thing aligned with where I want to be, the person who I want to be, and who I want to become, and where I want to go? You have to ask yourself those honest questions. And then if you don't act on what's right after that reflection, then there's going to be some kind of unrest deep down, and it will affect you even if you're not aware of the influences that it has. Just feels so freeing, right? Living in the early 2000s, again, it felt like, yeah. Yeah, right? Put it in my fast, and so I earned my social media time with coffee. Nice. Maybe because I'm starting to start my mornings off worse. I mean, right now I haven't even gotten up from bed. Yeah, you gotta. I think there's morning people, there's night people, but either way, it is. I think it's so crazy the profound changes that basic, or the profound impacts that basic changes can have. Not even complicated hacks. It's just doing the basic things, like moving, getting outside, taking walks, eating right, exercising. Not even complicated things. Things we all like are aware of and we know about. It's not about finding a hack. I think I'm not gonna not go on my phone in the mornings for the next week and continue with the blocking. That's good. We found turning off the media with the hurricane as well. We had low stress compared. Wow, and look at that, and there was a hurricane. So it says a lot. And yeah, again, like, it's like the impacts that scrolling, you're not even aware of the stress and anxiety that it has on your mind. That you're not even aware of. And it takes away from enjoying life right now. Feels so much better if you do it as a reward. Yeah. I find usually feel my worst if I'm starting my mornings off that way. Yeah. So I might find the morning harder than the rest of the day. That makes sense. Morning is, I mean, it's sometimes, yeah. I would also agree. Morning is often like the hardest for me, like the most challenging part of the day to act with discipline and do the things I know I need to do, because it's like pushing that first domino. It takes the most effort to push the first domino, but then the rest kind of fall effortlessly once you get on the right foot. But make your goals and do a schedule and make your morning routine. Or I get good routine mornings, more it'll be easier and second nature. Yeah. Yeah. Good routines. Good routines. And again, like, don't overcomplicate it. If you add too much in your routine, then it's going to actually harm you more than it helps you. If you add too many steps and too many parts of your routine, then you're going to constrict yourself more than you free yourself. The point of a routine is that it frees you. The point of a routine is that it frees you. It grants you to a life of freedom, I would say, to a life free from temptations and actions and behaviors that are at the lowest bar, because we kind of fall to the lowest things if we don't have structure, if we don't have a way of controlling it. So that's a routine. So don't overstuff your routine, but make it in a way that does support you, like a railing, you know, like a railing. You put your hand on there and stabilizes you, it helps you, but it's not like there's a railing for your foot and there's like each step has to be perfectly calculated. It's the right amount of assistance, and it takes time to develop a nice routine that helps you. Now it's taken me time to find one too. For me, some things that I love doing in my routine is, like I said, walks, right? Movement, getting outside right away, spending time in silence. Time in silence for me is like a non-negotiable. um it's just like it's really, for me, that's really crucial. And now, like, some recently, like yoga and stretches, I've loved doing that in the morning as well, activating the body. um you have to it takes time to develop something that really works for you, um but nonetheless, some kind of routine. Yeah. Stream quality improved though, that's good. Studio, I had to go hard about Wednesday, and if you had the hurricane, it would make people jumpy. How you guys doing now with the hurricane, Poe? Really is that damn phone? Really is that phone? Why you can't? Yeah. Helps calm to not be on it during the storm. Caregiver with special needs, so the house has to be peaceful. Well, I'm very happy that you're part of this community on the stream. I'm very honored to have you here, Poe. And I'm happy that you're Poe. I'm happy that you're conscious about important things in this life, because that is it's just so crazy. I don't know. I find it so fascinating that I think we all like live in this dystopian world, this dystopian society, like Blade Runner, where like so many things that we do collectively, behaviors and actions are just, we know they're not good or not healthy, or we know that they're not right, but we just kind of just do them, and we're just like, I don't know. It just feels like a dystopian movie. Um, Whether it's the scrolling or the food that we eat, the food that they're feeding us, or programs and beliefs that we have, or settling for jobs that are not spiritually fulfilling. There's just so many things in our society that aren't aligned with our own goodness. That is just an interesting kind of matrix dystopian society we live in. And I think it's important, again, why these conversations and communities matter, because these are the spaces of support. And ultimately, the true journey is within, right? The one of solitude and your own decision on what you want to do with your life. But yeah, we have a lot of decisions to make in this journey, in this life. Yeah. Phone addiction, very real, can be just as harmful as other addictive things. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And I would say the phone addiction is one of the most dangerous addictions, in terms of things that are just so accessible to you. Time is our most precious commodity, and it's wasted. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's TikTok. It takes away your time. Reclaiming my power. Beautiful. Good, 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 good. Reclaim that power. Reclaim it. Take it back. Because no one will take it back for you. Others are trying to take it away. I set the example for my family, even when I mess up, which I do. Set up your dominoes. Yep. Keep it simple. Yep. Set up your dominoes. Exactly. Exactly. Vision streams are so soul restoring, and ooh, yoga. Always been curious about that. People speak about it a lot in spirituality. I'm so happy, Kurt, about the videos of streams being soul restoring. That's like a great compliment to receive, because that's how I want these things to resonate. And yeah, I would definitely get into yoga. Yoga, it's the breath of life. Yoga is connecting with your body. Remember that you know, your body is a part of your journey and a part of your life. We are souls. Yeah, we're spirits, but we also live in a body. Like we live in a body, so we need to connect with it. We need to activate it. We need to love it. We need to show it care. And yeah, I think that yoga is one of those ways to connect with is to make that soul body connection. And I try to find that intersection between mind, body, and soul in the beginning of the day. You know, the mind with time and silence, the body with movement, whether it's a walk or yoga, and then the soul with prayer. And I think that trifecta kind of activating in the morning sets pretty good momentum. You're good burning the down trees. Yes, right. Yeah, that's good to hear. Enjoy that sacred time, Poe. Enjoy the time with the family, and it's something that I've in these past few years, just as I've talked more with God and reflected on my own kind of how I see life and developing my own spiritual beliefs. It's just like, for me, the most important thing is time with loved ones. Ultimately, in this life, that's like the most important thing. That's the thing and that's why that's why I make it an effort to fall asleep every night with peace in my heart and forgiveness in my heart, and wake up every day and embrace the day as a blessing, as a new blessing. You know, taking the blessings that are the circumstances of the day, and just, you know, it's at the end of the life, you know, you will see that it was all about the moments. It was all about the time that you spent. It was all about the people that you loved, and that's why I think, if that's for me, if those are the most important things in my life, then those need to be the most important things of my day, because the days of my life make up my life. So try to prioritize that every day. So I hope you're doing well with your family, Poe, and enjoying the time with them. I wrote this down the other night. As long as I'm alive and they're alive, them as in family, it's good to spend as much time with them as possible. I saw that comment on a YouTube video, and I just thought that was beautiful. Appreciate you and your mind, life affirming vibes. Yes. Pointing you to yourself. That's the whole thing. I was grateful for God that nothing terrible happened. Yes. That's good. Keep praying, being thankful, counting your blessings, because if you don't count them, you're not open to them, then you're not realizing that you're something that you prayed for long ago, and you're not aware that it's only when things change and you realize that things are temporary that you realize how good you had it. So yeah, it's that's why time in solitude and time in silence for me is like, connect with the mental frameworks that are most important. When you connect with those things, you can go back out into the world and experience life through those frameworks, and then you'll be more open with love, and you'll have an open heart. And I truly believe that. And that's and God, we always talk about it, we always connect it, but being an artist, being a creative, ultimately the artist's journey is a journey with the soul and with the spirit. And when you work on your soul, when you work on your relationship and your journey with the soul and the spirit, so when you work on your creativity, you work on an artist, you work on your relationship with life itself. And that's just a beautiful thing. You work on, you develop your heart, and you keep an open heart. And we have to have an open heart. If we don't go through life and we don't have love in our hearts, if we don't go through life and we don't love others and love our experiences, and find love in other things every day, you have to go about in the world with an open heart. If you don't do that, then your life will flash you by. Right? You won't live. You really won't. And I've noticed that with me in my own life, before this life that I live now, just completely different ways of relating to the world. Now when I go out and about in the world, I see others and go different places. It all just feels like a memory. It all just feels like a dream. And this is a new life. It's a new way of looking at life. And then my life doesn't feel like my time's wasted. My life is flash. It feels like I'm actually doing what I'm meant to be doing. It feels like I'm actually tasting the wine as I drink it. It feels like I'm actually feeling things around me as they pass me by, as opposed to them just, that's it, you know? So, yeah, that's why I think this whole artistry is most important. 1984 fiction again. Humanity is a dystopian cyberpunk family at the moment. I think we're moving towards solar punk and a more hopeful future. This is the change. This is the shift. This is the wave, and we're all part of it. I believe in miracles, so it will happen. There's a whole movie concept, dystopian society, that the true power of spiritual conscious artist we can make better. Yes, I believe that, JDO. I truly believe that. I believe that our art matters and our work matters, and we have to be creators, you know. In a world where we are losing that, that's why I think it's so important to develop it and get in contact with it. Our intuition doesn't have to make sense in the realm of this dystopia, because we have to break through the rules that can hold us back to make something truly special. Exactly. And so you have to ask yourself, what is your intuition telling you now? What is it calling you to do? Then you have to have the courage to act on it, to reassure people of a new view mindset that was never thought of before, the limits of these rules. Exactly. Hey, this is life. This is our world that we live in now, and we get to decide. You know, I think so many of us live lives where so many humans live lives where we're just detached from everything else. It's just like, okay, I just worry about myself, my own family, and you know, it's whatever happens in the world, don't really care about it. But the state of the world that we live in is because of our own mindsets and our own rules that we have in our minds, and you know, the empires of the mind or the empires of the future. So yeah, we get to decide. We have to take up that collective responsibility, and that's why we need to work on ourselves and save ourselves first. You can't change the world unless you change yourself. You got to be that man in the mirror, make that change. Choices, all about choices in the moment. Exactly, all about choices. Life is all about choices. I got a dash. Oh, Kurt, thank you for coming. I'll catch up with the stream later. Please write down goals for next week. Yes. Take care and be safe and have fun with your work. Thank you so much, Kurt. Thank you. Thank you for coming on the stream. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you. Best of luck with this weekend and your work, and we'll talk soon. See us play. Yes, of course, see us play. I think the wind might be blurring your voice more. Oh, hopefully, hopefully it's okay now. I can still hear you, but it's difficult to hear you clearly. Yeah, the wind gets intense. Heard some police sirens in the back during the stream, and it went pretty well with the beat that I'm working on, so I incorporated the sound into it as a bit of ambience. Life imitates art. Wow, that's awesome. That's beautiful. That, you know what you're doing there, and you're doing something I think is important in the process. Is you're you're allowing the art to become what it wants to be. You're allowing the art to extend beyond the physical confines of what it is, so it can be anywhere. It can live, you know, you can get you're opening your scope of your for signals, for creative signals, which is so important, because the signals in science come from everywhere, not just the physical space where you're working itself. They come from everywhere. And also you're having faith that certain things are meant to come into your work, especially the unexpected. So I love that. That's beautiful. That happens with me so many times when I'm writing scripts or stories and I notice something out in the world. It's like, okay, that thing's meant to go in the story because because it resonates. It feels right. And that's all you need. That's the only reason you need in order to incorporate something, to act on something. Rules have limits. Depends what you mean. For me, the way I look at rules is the only rules you should follow in the creative process are the rules that resonate. And the rules should be methods to help you find what you like. And so if if you don't believe that a rule serves your art, then you should not follow it. And the reason why, there's a Cybertruck. The Cybertrucks are so funny. They're like rare animals in the forest. The reason why creative limitations or limitations in art can actually help and make you more creative is because it serves the art. It forces you to be more creative. But if the art wants to go somewhere, but it can't go there according to some kind of rule that you are aware of, or you know about, or it's in the back of your mind, in the back of my mind, then you shouldn't follow it, because the art wants to intuitively go somewhere else. But then you're allowing that rule to get in its way. You have to get out of its way. That's how I at least view rules within the creative process. And the reason why I think that's important for a lot of us artists is because we tend to we give our power away. We just give it away. We're like, whatever. I'll just listen to you, outer world. But you don't realize the power that you already have within. So for me, the one rule that transcends all is to follow this. Open in the portal to creation. Yeah, exactly. I appreciate you conveying that. Helps me understand my process more. Yeah. You become more creative when you look at life that way, when you realize that the idea can come to you in so many different forms that you don't have to limit what it means or how it's supposed to come to you, how it's supposed to form itself. And that's why rules can be dangerous, because when you place these limits on the idea, then it's like trying to fit something into somewhere that it can't grow. It's like putting a roof over a plant. How is it supposed to grow? So I think you create better work. You become a better artist in the process when you look at it that way. Okay, guys. So for this week 3 workshop, it was great. I'm happy that we had these conversations about content addiction and phone scrolling and whatnot. And I hope we carry these through next week, through week 4, because I mean, it's very important to maintain these things, and very important to maintain this relationship with our phone if we're on a good momentum. And I'm really happy that we've talked about this. And even if you feel like you were using the phone too much, or if you were mindlessly consuming, then don't worry. There's still that time. You still have time to decide. You still have time to act differently, behave differently, implement different habits relating to the phone, relating to content. And we're gonna write down our week 3 goals. So everyone, get your journals out. What is my goal for this creative project for this week? Write down your goal. For me, I'm gonna think, because I actually haven't thought about this.
You are at the top. You are at the top. Cheese pizza. Second mano. Cheese pizza. Keep going. Go sideways. Sideways. The other way now. Go the other way. That way. Come on. Go.
1 week goal. Think finish final lyrics. Finish final lyrics. For my movie song.
Cheese pizza. Cheese pepperoni.
And then
Cheese Brandon. Cheese Brandon. Cheese Brandon.
select
Go the other way.
vocals.
Cheese peppers. This way, Martin. This way.
Okay, I've got my goal. I got my 1 week goal for by the time next week. I have finished final lyrics for my movie song. So these lyrics have been stumping me a bit. So I'm facing writer's block. So today my plan is to get the first draft done for the lyrics and then select my final lyrics by next week so I can start recording the vocals for that song. And then for my other song In the Morning that I've been mixing recently, my goal is to select all the vocals. So my 1 week goal, the wind is intense. My 1 week goal last week was to finish um, finished all the mixing, which pushed me, which is good. I did a good amount of selecting and mixing, but I'm gonna make it a little smaller for this week, make it more narrow, make it more focused and intentional, which is just select the tracks that I want to use. Because hopefully you guys can hear me. Because when I record the vocals, I record a lot of takes, so I just want to select which takes I want to use. And there's a lot. I record a lot, so there's that on top of all the other work I do. I think that's a good goal for myself, and that'll get me good progress on those 2 songs. So everyone, write down your goal. Everyone, write down your goal for next week. So you have a target again. Give yourself a target. Give yourself that North Star so you can actually strive towards something. You give yourself a direction, because otherwise, I mean, what are you gonna do? If you don't notice certain progress being made, certain targets being hit, then you got to give yourself. It's all about decisions. Just making decisions, right? So help yourself make good decisions by giving yourself a good target, a good direction. And then I want us to ask ourselves, and I think this is important because now that we're into week 3, this is important to think about. How will I face the obstacle? And by the obstacle, I mean whatever obstacle you've been facing the past couple weeks, whatever we talked about, whatever it is for you. You know the reason why you're not getting your work done, why you're not reaching this 1 week goal. What is it for you? How are you going to face it? Because one thing, it's a matter of, it comes up, and then, maybe you don't face it. Maybe you don't act with courage. Maybe you don't, you don't do the right thing, or you allow fear to win. How are you going to face this obstacle? How will you face it? What is your goal for facing that obstacle? For me, I know the obstacle in terms of these goals that I've set with my music, the obstacle that I'm going to face ultimately is going to come down to writer's block with the lyric writing. I didn't really face much for, I guess, vocals with time and morning. What I did at time, I would argue maybe it was time management. That was a bit of my weakness in doing that. So for me, it was writer's block and time management for those 2 things. And so for writer's block, what I'm going to do is force a first draft. And by force, I mean, usually when I write, I write what feels good, and then I just I wait until things feel right. But I'm going to force a first draft, which means I have to get down something. I really like a draft. It doesn't matter if I think it's horrible, like it's going to get done. I'm going to force a first draft so I can at least start and spark some kind of momentum. As well as spend time in silence. Spend time in silence just thinking about the melodies. Well, similar to you, JDO, when it comes to brainstorming ideas, force yourself to spend time in silence so that you can allow ideas to flow. For me, time management with the vocal mixing, I'm going to do 45-minute time blocks a day. So 45 minutes a day is, let's say that's like 6 days. That's like 6 times 45. What is that, like? 245 is an hour and a half. There's 3 of those, so an hour and a half times 3 is like 5. Was that 4.5 hours? 5.5 hours? That's enough time to. I would say that's enough time to mix. I'm gonna to select vocals. It could take a little longer because it took me a while to just do the first verse. So I'm gonna say an hour. I'm gonna do an hour time block per day. Hour time block per day. Because that'll be good on top of the lyric writing that I have to do for the other song. So how are you gonna face that obstacle that you have coming up? The obstacle that you know you've been facing the past couple weeks. How are you gonna face it this week? And write that down. So what is the goal for this week? How are you gonna face the obstacle? Give yourself that goal. I'm so thankful for you and this tribe. Joel, praying for you. 1 week goal might be the same as last week, but definitely gonna change it a little. What feels best? What is the goal that feels best for you? Collective energy here is really powerful and it's equally confident. I hope everyone here has been doing well lately. Thank you so much, TB, for that love. I appreciate that genuine love from your soul, from your heart. I hope you're doing well as well, and I'm happy that you're here, and I'm happy that this feels like powerful collective energy, and I feel it as well, and I truly believe it is. I mean, we're all here, we're all creators, we're all artists, and it's a beautiful thing that we get to experience and share with each other. And it's a good thing, and we can, and again, we bring this because we break, we go off into our solitude, into our lives, and it's helpful to carry this energy and carry the support into our work. And like I said, we have to do the work. It has to get done. We have to do it. My goal directly confronts my obstacle. I'm going to actually upload a piece for the first time. Whoa. Wow. I'm very happy to hear that. That gets me excited. I hope it excites you. And know that you have the courage and power to do it, that you're meant to do it, and you're meant to overcome it, and that the rewards will be great, because when you confront things that you know you have to do, you become better in the process, and you reap the fruits of your labor. And don't be attached to those fruits or those outcomes, but know that they will serve you. I'm very happy to hear that, and that's a great goal. Okay, guys, I'm going to put these in the community tab. We have our goal, and we have our method for how we're going to face this obstacle. And only, again, these workshops are only going to be as helpful as you take them and as you decide to act on them. So I'm excited for this week. I'm excited for the work. And the work, find a way to enjoy, find a way to love it, and love your life, and enjoy the process, romanticize the process, love the work, love what you're doing. And remember, this is only the beginning. There's a lot more ahead for us. There's a lot more to do. There's a lot more life to live. So as we're here now in this moment of time, enjoy it. I think that's the note we'll end on. The wind's getting pretty intense. I'm going to go be with my family now. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. And you know what we should do? We should do questions. We'll start off. We'll let's do this. We're gonna start doing this because I'm just having an intuitive idea, an intuitive thought. Let's do ending questions to ponder throughout the week, and we'll talk about them next week. Okay? Let's do that. And if anyone wants to propose a question in the chat, go for it. I think I think we should have a question that we can ponder throughout the week, or notice, or try and think about, and then we talk about it and we answer. We can start off next week's workshop answering the question, or having a conversation about the question. Let's do that. I think that would be nice. I think it'll be a nice little touch to these streams. Just a little, if anything, a little icebreaker to intro the things. I sat my friend down to show him your romance as a process video, and it's such wonderful, articulated video. Thanks, Jen. Oh, thank you, Logan. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing the work. Wow, that's awesome. I hope that your friend resonated. I hope they liked it. And I'm just happy that it came across you and you resonated enough to show it to someone. Thank you. Thank you for joining the stream, by the way. Have you seen a growth within yourself and more progress made with your project? Ooh, that's a good one, JDL. That's awesome. Let's do that. All right, here's our question question. We'll call it the question of reflection. Let's write down JDO's question. Have you seen growth within yourself and progress with your projects? And if so, what? And let's answer it next week after we're 3 weeks in to these workshops. Have you seen a growth within yourself and progress with your project? Thank you, JDO, so much. How many weeks North Stars have you succeeded in? You can answer that one as well. Okay, great. Thank you, JDO. I really appreciate you proposing that. We're going to answer that next week. We're going to open with that question. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, for joining the stream. It's been a very sacred, blessed time. Appreciate everyone's time and presence. Now, please take this value into your life, into your heart, and live your life sacredly. Spend the time wisely, make good decisions, do the work, put in consistent work. And I will see you guys very, very soon. New YouTube videos coming out tomorrow. We'll be out tomorrow or possibly Monday, because Sundays I try not to work too much, more my rest day. So yeah, I'll be realistic with you guys. Peace and love to everyone here. Thank you, Doobie, for all of the love. Thank you, everyone here in this chat, for all of the love and all of the time. And yeah, we got our questions. What is the 1 week goal? How are you going to face the obstacle? And our question of reflection: have you seen a growth within yourself and progress with your project? Hello, Sudan. How you doing? Love to India. Thank you for joining from India. We are breaking now from the stream, but you got the tail end. All the questions again in the community tab. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Enjoy your life. Live your life. Do the work. And do something kind to yourself at some point today. Hey guys. Peace and love. Dream on. God bless. What's the second question? Have you seen growth within yourself and progress within your project? Is your question. Or how many weeks North Stars have succeeded in? Yes. Great. All right, guys. Dream on. God bless. Peace out.